Welcome to Wrestling with Heart, a podcast looking at pro wrestlers giving back to their community. Join me, Stanley Carr, as I interview wrestling's hottest names who use their platforms as entertainers to raise awareness and do community service. Hello and welcome to a very special edition of Wrestling with Heart with Stanley Carr. It's a bonus episode here today. We're always big on the positivity, talking to professional wrestlers and professional wrestling personalities about their lives in and outside of the ring, with doing things like charity work, volunteering, community service. And I've got a very special guest with me right now. He is the current AAW Heritage Champion, Isaiah Moore. Welcome to Wrestling with Heart.
Man, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
It's my pleasure. So, are you from Chicago originally?
No, so I'm from a small town in Michigan called Buchanan. I just wrestle in Chicago often.
Okay. So very familiar with the Midwest, Chicago, Illinois, Michigan, kind of like a lot of wrestling going on there, big markets. So were you always a fan?
Yeah, ever since I can remember, I grew up like my first memories are with wrestling and Stone Cold Steve Austin, so it's always been a part of my life.
So I take it you grew up in the Attitude Era.
Yes. My dad was a big wrestling fan and grew up with all the greats with Dusty and Hogan and all that, and he just kind of got me into it and Attitude Era into the Ruthless Aggression. Like I grew up in the perfect era.
Definitely did. And I feel like there's just so much, I guess like you could say like you kind of grew up from Hogan to Austin. I feel like it was a perfect transition of like the kid-friendly cartoon-esque type of characters, and then just a few years later, you grew up with this product, and
Yeah.
it grows with you in a sense because it starts becoming more edgy and adult-oriented, and these crazy storylines. And so, Austin, I guess, was your favorite.
Oh, absolutely. That's to me that there's no debate on who the greatest of all time is. It's Stone Cold Steve Austin.
What's your favorite Stone Cold Steve Austin match?
Him and Bret Hart at WrestleMania 13. That's the match that like obviously that happened the year I was born, but getting to watch it later on, that was literally the match that I was like, I want to do this.
Yeah, and I feel like too, it's like it was a very personal feud. And
Yeah.
so you could see like these two really did not like each other, couldn't stand each other. And then you start seeing all the blood coming out of Stone Cold when Bret Hart's putting him in the sharpshooter, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, it's pandemonium.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's art, man. Like it's literally like it's just the beauty of what we do, man. Like it's my favorite match of all time. It's my favorite story of all time. Like it doesn't get better than that to me, you know?
And I feel like too, it's like kind of helped usher in the Attitude Era because prior to all this stuff, we were kind of in that new generation,
Yeah.
mid 90s era when you had Brett, of course, around, Shawn Michaels, Kevin Nash as Diesel,
Yeah.
Razor Ramon, Undertaker. And just, I feel like that era is kind of underrated in itself, but it kind of like led into that Attitude Era aspects where we start seeing more of that real grunge and edge, and
Yeah.
and it's like, oh my gosh, it's like a complete 180.
Yeah, it's such a crazy difference. It's like you saying, getting into that edgy stuff, and like with everybody, everybody wanted a change in wrestling at that point, and like exactly what we needed. But even going back to it being like the golden era, being underrated, like that's some of the best wrestling, and some where like I do my studying because that's the art of the actual storytelling in wrestling. Like that's some of the best stuff that you'll ever see.
I mean, Jake the Snake Roberts, I feel like was a
Yes.
very good character because he just had so much psychology
Yes.
when he would try to like intimidate his opponents with Damien. And so like you had that, you had Macho Man, you had Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Just I feel like guys that were like showmen and
Yes.
and people that I feel like had like a very unique persona to them, right? I mentioned
Yeah.
Undertaker just a bit ago. He started his WWE run during that period.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
it's wild to watch like how he transitioned into every era. It's like crazy.
and two, it's like it's another example of like someone that I feel like is such a constant, right? You had the Dead Man, you had the Ministry of Darkness, the American
Yeah,
Badass, and so on and so forth. He would constantly change, and it's just
yeah,
he's someone that's like synonymous with the WWE and professional wrestling as
yeah.
a whole.
Like the ability to adapt, man. That's like there's no better example of a character in wrestling and being able to go through every era, even now with the reality era. Like he's doing his mark stuff, but like it's just crazy to see how someone can adapt to everything, every change of every crowd. Like it's just amazing.
It is. So you knew right at a young age you wanted to pursue this as a profession.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, wholeheartedly. I don't think I ever really wanted to do. I played sports in high school and stuff, but it was like, how do I become that? you know.
Well, let's talk about that. What sports did you end up playing growing up?
I was always I didn't play many. Like I was decent at pretty much everything, but I stuck with basketball and football. My dad was a big basketball guy and watching Michael Jordan with him in the hardwood classics and stuff. So I was real big in basketball. I loved football, but like I said, it was just how am I getting to wrestling?
Well, I'm sure kind of transitioning into wrestling, playing sports kind of helped prepare you for this lifestyle.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Definitely, especially being able to be coachable. Like I had some good coaches in school, so being able to learn fast and like I graduated the summer that I graduated is when I started wrestling, so it was like a perfect transition into it, you know.
When I've talked to people on the show about training, it's very hard. It's intense. You really have to condition your body to get
Yeah,
it in shape. And so, coming from a sports background, playing basketball, um, did you notice any differences? Because it's still like it's kind of a contact sport, but it's
yeah.
a different kind of physicality. Because wrestling, you're using your body a lot.
Yeah, yeah, I noticed completely. Like, training for wrestling is unlike training for anything else, you know what I mean? Like you can be in shape and have great cardio and stuff like that, but that doesn't mean anything when you take that bump and all the wind gets knocked out of you and you have to keep going to the next thing, you know what I mean? It was quite like the shocker to say the least of like, whoa, this isn't just doing wind sprints or this isn't just 10 and 60 up and down the court. This is a whole new ball game. But I would say still the athletic background did help with at least the mentality of like, no, let's get through this, you know.
And two, it's like you're constantly being put through the ringer. These coaches, they're pushing their guys hard and girls hard to really
Mm.
be successful. And so, what pieces of advice did you get early on in your training as a pro wrestler that's kind of stuck with you today?
Just to not give up, to not get not get frustrated, you know, like it becomes hard, especially when you're learning this and you may be behind on some things and someone else is picking up on them, but it's just to stay consistent. Like that's one of the biggest things. Like I train people now too, and that's one of the things that I say immediately is just stay with it. You know, consistency is key, and if you can get through that, or you get through that initial training, you'll be fine. You know?
It's all about repetition because you're
Yeah,
constantly learning new things every day, but you always want to make sure you can retain that information because at some point someone might ask you, "Hey, do this, do that move," and you don't want to forget. You want to make sure that you can remember it and execute it perfectly too.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Like repetition is huge. Like I don't care with some of the students I've had now. Like some of them will pick up easily and be able to, hey, we learned roles in this amount of time, and bam, they're ready to go for the next thing. And then some of them are, it's 2 3 weeks, and they're still kind of in that bubble of man, I can't quite get this, but it's like we're gonna do this until we get it and get it right safely. So this is never an issue.
How do you feel about training new wrestlers? Because it's different from when you yourself were trained as a student, but
Yeah,
now you're training the next generation.
yeah. I, at first it was one of those things like what do I know? You know what I mean? It's like one of those things like, oh, you hear you're good, but it's like you're teaching somebody else and like hoping that they retain this information and are able to do some great things. And so at first it was a little bit like I don't know because I didn't want to be that guy, but I can say that I've been blessed to see some of my students do tremendous things. I got two students right now that are on AAW, Twist and Flip. Those are my boys, and they've been doing amazing things. Thomas Himes, another one, and he's in 1 year he's already been on Ring of Honor. He's done AEW stuff, done extra work for WWE. He's doing an amazing job, and so it's like I feel good about it now that I'm seeing the result of it.
Yeah, you're doing your job and,
Yeah,
and being a good mentor to these guys that are going to go hopefully become big stars in the future.
yeah, absolutely.
So starting out in the business, you make your debut. I've had people on the show talk about their first matches. How are you able to overcome that shyness at first, that anxiety? Because it can be tough going out there for the first time in front of an audience.
It is, but like in all honesty, like I never had felt more ready. Like I still get butterflies to this day before walking out of the curtain. So like that nervousness was there and all that, but the performing aspect I love. I love to be in front of the camera and entertaining people and doing our job of making them believe in this. So like that to me, like was never a big like I don't know. It was more like, yeah, let's do this. Like my gimmick is the human highlight. Like put the camera on me. Yeah, So that was never like a oh no. I think it was more just like I hope that I leave these people happy.
Describe your character for those that may not be familiar with the human highlight.
So the human highlight to me, like 6 foot, body of a model, Hollywood handsome, Detroit dangerous. To the human highlight is just the guy. You put the kid. When I walk out there, there's a presence, and everybody feels that energy. Um, like I got the inspiration for it from Dominique Wilkins in the NBA, and how he was just captivating to watch. And this dude could jump out of the gym, and you wanted to see what he was going to do on the court next. You were excited when he got the ball. You knew that something big was about to happen, and that's the same thing with the human highlight Isaiah Moore. When I walk through the curtain, you know you're about to get the show of your life.
Always want to take from people that you feel inspire you. And so
Yes.
it's amazing, even if it's like outside of wrestling. So
Yeah.
you get those influences, kind of fuse them into your own. And so over time, you start developing the repertoire, start going out there, having matches. So far in your career, who would you say you've enjoyed being in the ring with?
Oh man, there's so many. um, I would say I've gotten to work with guys like all over. Jason Hotch is probably like my top favorite to be in the ring with. He and I kind of came up on the same at the same time, and he's obviously doing amazing things with TNA. But he and I in the ring together, like there's that magic, that chemistry that is just it's I don't have to think in there. He's one. Eric Dillinger, that's a dude who's phenomenal in the ring. Love being in the ring with him. Russ Jones, big boy, but we've told some amazing stories in there. I've gotten to wrestle with Mustafa Ali. Mustafa Ali, excuse me. Um, like I don't even know how to explain being in the ring with that dude. He's amazing at what we do. So those are a few that like I would wrestle. And Trick Davis, I would wrestle 8 days of the week if I could.
Wrestling Mustafa Ali must have been a true highlight because here's somebody that's been working with so many different companies, been all over the world, and
Yeah.
you're getting that knowledge from him. So
Yeah.
can't get any better than that.
No, no, man. He is an amazing person. He's an amazing worker. Like having that man, I was on quite a bit of a run, and that like starting to come into myself, and like I was getting in the best shape of my life and feeling good, but you still as a wrestler sometimes it's always that confidence of like, am I good at this? Am I okay at this? And having that match with him and getting through it, and then the words that he had to say to me after, like, you're not feeling yourself. Like, looky, like he was really boasting me up, and man, that match and working with him gave me the confidence, and now it's like not now I know I'm good at this. Like he's one of those guys.
You're currently the AAW Heritage Champion. Describe the feeling of being able to win a title like this and the emotions behind it?
It it was really is really been big to me. So like I had been wrestling for AAW for a while, and grinding it out, man. Grinding it out, showing up. Didn't win a lot at all. The first match I ever had there, I lost in a minute. And then I had a match with Ego, the one that I took the title off of at one point, and that was kind of my breakout match. And I knew when he got the title, I was like, I have to be the one. Like this is gonna come full circle. I have to be the one. So I was gonna bust my ass, and did. And when I won, it was one of the most like emotional nights, just because it was like I could say that I earned this. I went through all the fires, climbed all the mountains, did everything right, and did it the way that it needed to be done. And holding that title, like I hold that with pride, because I earned this, and now whoever has to take it, or whoever's going to take it me, is going to have to do the same thing.
Yeah, they really have to fight for it.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. I'm not coming off of it easy. I promise you that. I busted my ass for too long and too hard to just give it up.
well, who are some people that you would say you hope to face in the future?
I would I want to get in there with Raph right now. I mean, obviously he just won the heavyweight title. But he's a guy that I would love to put on a show with at AAW. I see Mance is coming back. I'd like to get in there with Mance. There's a few guys, even some of the guys that are just showing up, like Amazanga. He's a guy that I'd like to be in there with. I'd love to have a singles match with Joey Avalon. Dude, he's underrated. I'd love to have a match with him. I'll work with anybody. You know what I mean? I want to wrestle everybody at this point. Like just send them all, and let's find out who's the best.
Do you have future goals that you want to accomplish in the business? They could be with AAW, they could be outside of AAW. What are some things that you would like to do in the wrestling business going forward?
Um, Sign a contract. Wrestle for TNA again. I wanna start making this the full time job that it needs to be. So as far as goals, obviously, I want to sign a contract. I want to travel a little bit more. I'd like to get overseas. That would be really cool. Maybe do a tour over there. Um, just really like the biggest goal is just making this a reality, and being able to support and feed my family with it.
Doing what you love is the most important thing.
Yeah.
And if you're able to have a career in something that you really enjoy, you can't ask for anything more than that.
No, 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 you can't. It's been a blessing, even the ride that it's been, and it's like you can't trade this for anything. There's nothing like wrestling, like walking out of the curtain and everything else goes away, and like having the crowd like love you, or I mean even hate you, whatever it is. Just the beauty of being out there and making and taking everybody's like worries in life away, and everybody's just watching this, and they're enjoying the chaos that is wrestling, from the wild characters to the brawl and beat downs and crazy. Like there's nothing like it.
You want to leave people with that same feeling that you felt when you started watching.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I want them to have fun and believe what they're watching, and just take away like tonight was a really awesome night, and leave them exactly how you're saying, like how I felt watching Steve Austin against The Rock.
Hmm. We're a podcast that's very passionate about serving the community and
Yeah.
doing charity work and volunteering. What kinds of causes are you very passionate about, and anything that you've been able to do to help out in your community over the years?
It's funny that we're talking about this. So I'm big on like anything that brings awareness to autism. I have a son, I have a brother that have it as well. And what's cool about it this year is, so every year I have tried to put on a birthday show for my brother, because he wanted to be a professional wrestler, and just certain things prevent him obviously from doing this how I do it. So every year I put on a birthday show for him, so he gets to live his dream. And so, like, I wrestled him the first time. We've done a tag match together. Last year he wrestled one of the local guys around here, and And so this year we're putting on it, but we're going to make it an actual full show where the proceeds of it are going to go to Autism Speaks. So that's something that I'm really, really passionate about, is bringing awareness to that, and hopefully this show goes amazing. I've got some good support on it through Pro Wrestling King. They're a sponsor on that. RentAWrestlingRing.com. Fisher's Barbecue in South Bend is where we're going to be having the event, and so hopefully we can pack it in for him. And in the main event, it's going to be me and him again, and he wants to do crazy stuff, so I think we're gonna have some type of no DQ match, and my brother's gonna kick my ass. So
Well, let's talk more about this because is this a cause that you've been very involved with, and what other events in the past have you been able to do to support autism awareness?
so this is the first one. I've had to do like talk to a group of people and start to like understand what I could do to make this happen and things like that. It's something that I've just been learning about. I've always wanted to be more involved. I think I just needed more of an understanding of how to get to this point. So this is the first real event that I'm able to, and I'm trying to make this an annual thing now, and get more involved in that.
Oh yeah, I mean, anything that you can do to help spread more awareness about this cause and try to educate people on what's happening, on the things that you can be able to make a difference for, all the better.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like, and my thing is like, I grew up with my brother, so obviously I've been around and have an understanding. And like, people with autism are amazing. They're some of the smartest people in the world, and when they're passionate about something, man, they're passionate about something. Like, I would love at some point when I'm able to get my own school and things like that to do something where they would like I'd be able to train people and have them put on like monthly shows. That way, they get to do something they love, and may some of them may not be able to do the physical aspect, but there's so many aspects of wrestling that they could be involved in, whether it's camera commentary, backstage help, whatever. Let them live out their dream as well. Like, I think some don't get the opportunity to do that, and I want to change that.
I definitely think there should be room for managers as well. I don't think you see a
Yes.
lot of managers, especially in the mainstream wrestling products. We want to have more of that as well because I think it
Yeah.
adds value to the characters.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Paul Heyman, Bobby Heenan, like Paul Ellering, these guys were like staples in wrestling. It's like it's kind of a lost art. So yeah, absolutely, I agree.
What is it about giving back to the community that gives you the most joy?
Just knowing that I'm able to help, um, knowing that they feel seen, and they feel heard, and that they know that they're important, because there's so many out there that just get dirty looks, or like, or talked about secretly muttering. Like, I've seen it a million, even at wrestling shows. I've seen people who see that and like, oh, they're look at that guy, what's wrong with him? And it's just like, they're people just like us that need the same love that we do, and there's no reason why we should treat any person any differently just because they weren't born with the same abilities. So it's just, I just want them to have the same opportunities. And growing up with my brother like that, like, watching people treat him the way that he did, like, he's in my mind, that's just my brother. I don't think of that as he has this. I'm like, that's just Sammy. And I feel like that's how everybody should look at everybody. So it just brings me joy that they'll feel seen.
Exactly. Very well put. Isaiah, I want to say thank you for coming on to Wrestling with Heart. It means a lot to me and to my listeners and viewers that are watching this on YouTube. Where can people find out more about you on social media? And if there's anything you want to plug, feel free.
Thank you for having me on. You're an awesome guy to talk to.
Thank you.
You can find me, I mean, like, Facebook, Isaiah Moore. Instagram is the_human highlight. Twitter is, I need to change my Twitter handle. It's too long, but it's Isaiah_Moore. Like I said, my brother's show is gonna be on June 28th at Fisher's Barbecue in South Bend. So the more the merrier. Please come out. All the support we can get, please. AAW May 22nd. I'm gonna be whooping Ren Jones's ass in a dog collar match because he tried to take my career and hit me with a bell on my throat. So please be there. because that's going to be one
Yeah.
you don't want to miss.
Yeah, let's talk more about that. You're defending your championship. Tell me about like what caused this sort of chaos to unfold.
I don't know, man. Ren cut his hair, lost his swag, and now he's just on this streak of he thinks he needs to interfere in everything. The dude, like he and I came up in AAW together, and I don't know. We were always cool. You know, I was happy for him when he won the heavyweight title. He lost that, and he lost his mind. So he cost me the AAW heavyweight championship, and then this last month he tried to end my career by taking the belt, putting it on my throat, and hit me with something. So you know, like it's just now it's personal. You know, like you were trying to take away my dream. So now I'm gonna have to put boots to ass.
Well, all the best. Hope you're able to come out on top, and you're more than welcome to come back.
Hey, anytime you want to have me, I'm here, brother. Thank you so much.
All right, appreciate it. Take care.
You too, brother.
Bye-bye. This is Wrestling with Heart. I hope you found this podcast to be informative and entertaining. If you did, please hit the subscribe button and look out for the next edition.